name is Seth Clabough. I'm author of the novel All Things Await, which came out this summer, 2016. All Things Await is a novel about Lightly Irons, who is the narrator of the book. And Lightly Irons is a brilliant, unstable synesthete and Division III college quarterback who becomes convinced that there is a specific geographic region on this remote peninsula in Costa Rica where if he gets to the right spot at the right time, he'll be able to glimpse all the parallel lives of himself because he's obsessed with quantum physics, he's obsessed with the multiverse and parallel universes. I think folks who pick up a copy of All Things Await will enjoy it because it holds the promise of an adventure, and an adventure to a remote locale. And it's written in such a way where the narrator is engaging, he's upbeat, and he's got this clear goal in mind. So I think folks who are interested in meeting a unique character and taking off on a oddball, engaging adventure will really enjoy reading the novel, as well as folks who like literary fiction. For as upbeat and youthful as the narrator is, there are decidedly literary passages and descriptions in the book. So I think it has stuff that will probably appeal to readers of multiple or different backgrounds. This particular novel, I wrote it in Costa Rica, in the place that I was writing about, and so I think that actually helped a lot because the people in that place were all around me. They were talking in different languages, there were strange accents, there were people coming and going, and I think that really infused the writing that I was doing because it helped to capture the place. I have no writing routine whatsoever because I have 4 children. I write when I have free time, which is fairly rare. But when I'm really into a story or I'm into a project, I'll write for hours on end. When I was writing this particular novel, I had a lot of free time because I wasn't working. My job was writing the book, so I would write up to 4 or 5 hours straight at a time. I actually began writing a novel first before I wrote any short fiction whatsoever. And it was a 600-page novel that was dead on the page. It did not work at all. And it was, about a year I put into doing that. But it taught me all the things about what does not work when writing a novel, so that when I went back to tackle All Things Await, it was a lot easier because I had learned a lot. Short fiction, I think, is harder in some ways than long fiction. And the reason for that is, even though it doesn't take as long, you have to really nail it in a short span of time in order to, get a story that's worth reading. And that takes a lot of technical know-how. Writing a novel is a bit like a all-terrain marathon that lasts for a month, and you're exhausted at the end of it. And I would say writing short fiction, I've said somewhere, is kind of like competitive high diving. It's how technically beautiful can you be in a short span before you hit the water. Traveling to write All Things Await, I did find myself in some not so great situations. In Costa Rica, we were robbed, and I had to go around the house with I think I had a garden hoe, and there were a couple of guys breaking into the back of our house, and they also had some sort of garden implement that they were slamming into the window, trying to break that open. And I just kept walking toward them for some reason. I have no idea why. It's probably a dumb thing to do, but they took off. So there were some dangers inherent of traveling for something like this, but I think the benefit to the book outweighed those slight dangers, and no one was injured, so not severely anyway.